another pro that was on the move yesterday. Same division, same position. Amari Cooper also headed to the AFC East. It's not just Davante Adams. He goes to Buffalo along with a 6th-round pick in exchange for a 3rd in 2025 and a 7th in 2026. Bro,
I love this move for them, by the way.
Yeah, it should be the biggest headline.
Because think about what one of the underlying themes was with the Davante Adams trade, right? Like, we heard the report, he wanted to be in New York, that made a lot of sense. He wanted to be in New Orleans, that made a lot of sense. And then there was this team that was interested in Buffalo, which we understand why. They don't have Stefon Diggs. They traded him away. They drafted Keon Coleman. They have some other pieces, but clearly it's not enough. I mean, if you look at Allen's passing numbers, he's taking care of the football, but it's not quite as, I guess, dramatic as what it's been in the past in regards to his production. So they needed a wide receiver. And if you lose out on Davante Adams, which I think they realized they probably weren't going to get him when it was all said and done, you're kind of stuck standing there going, well, that's our toughest competition probably in the division. So we got to do something. So I do love the fact that they're able to acquire Amari Cooper in a year for the Browns where things obviously aren't going well. And they've got to start probably thinking about rebuilding or what this roster is going to look like as they try to rebuild. Probably with Deshaun Watson, or at least with his cap hit, if he's not going to be on the team, but his cap is going to extend out for the next few years. So you're going to have some young talent. So why not trade away a veteran guy who it's not going to matter for the Browns this season, but it will matter for Buffalo and it will matter for you for the future. It makes all the sense in the world.
I think it makes them a legitimate Super Bowl contender if Amari Cooper can stay healthy. If he stays healthy, he stays upright and on the field, because I really believe that was all this team was missing. And listen, they have their issues on the defensive side of the ball. They're going to have to, probably play better than what they have. But, they don't have Von Miller right now. They'll get him back, I guess. And I just think that if you look at what they're able to accomplish right now, and listen, the Jets are their toughest competition within the division, which is to me kind of crazy because I don't think that highly of the Jets, but who knows if they get a ton better with Davante Adams, maybe they do. I don't know, but I'm looking at Buffalo beyond their division. I'm looking at them more so, can they go beyond where they've gone in the playoffs? Can they make it to that final game? And I think if Amari Cooper stays healthy, the way that this Buffalo Bills team plays, because there is, and for what it's worth, there does look to be continuity with this team. And that's something that, maybe isn't discussed enough about the teams that are able to win in spite of not having one piece or another. Buffalo is one of those teams that they have continuity. There's familiarity. There's understanding of what it is they're trying to get done. It's culture. And so to me, I think it's a great move for Buffalo because they were in need of that receiver that could really, really command the type of attention that Amari Cooper does, which could make it better for the other receivers that are on the field. I thought it was a great move. I thought it was a strong move. And to be honest with you, I'm not so sure that it isn't a better move, even if they didn't. Maybe it's a blessing by subtraction that it's a bigger get to get Amari Cooper than even to get Davante Adams, if you ask me. And I just base that off of, is he going to be happy? Is the Aaron Rodgers situation going to flare up and show its face while he's in Buffalo? If something goes wrong, this is what happened with Stefon. Like, I want to get to get to Aaron Rodgers. I think that this is clean. This is cleaner, and this is, to me, I think, a really, really impactful move by the Buffalo Bills.
No drama, no BS, just consistent play, produces everywhere he goes. I swear to God, I didn't know what Amari Cooper sounded like until like 3 weeks ago. I just never hear him talk. Like, you have no issues, no worries about anything whatsoever. He's just going to show up. He's going to play. And when they even approached him about, are you looking to be traded? Are you looking to go elsewhere? When they threw his name in the mix as somebody who could potentially be traded for Brandon Ayuk before the season, it was just like, okay, whatever. They asked him about, hey, you want off of Cleveland? It's not going well. There's some potential you could get traded. He called it, no, that's loser's mentality. That's not the way I operate. Like, just no BS whatsoever, and he goes to Buffalo. So, yeah, I agree. I think it's a great move for the Bills.
You know what the other part of this is?
Yeah.
You go back to the Stefon Diggs trade. I really thought they were trying to clean up some of the cap. They were trying to build through more of a youth movement. Maybe they saw how this offense was going to operate more through the ground game, which it does feel like they're trying to be more balanced and run the football. That is evident. But I thought they were going to try to get through this season without it to kind of see where they were and get a sense for that. But now when you make a move like this, you kind of go, okay, maybe there was a lot there. Dealing with Stefon Diggs. Like, it almost makes that trade look even worse now, too, because if he wasn't having the issues he was having, I mean, you would have thought they would have just restructured his contract. Like, remember when he got down to Houston? They restructured it to a one-year deal. This is a one-year prove-it deal for Stefon Diggs in Houston. If things were so, like, hunky-dory or it was about money or something else, he could have just stayed in Buffalo. Done the same thing, restructured it, put everything into this 1 year. There had to have been so much stuff behind the scenes that makes it look even worse now that they go out and they get a guy like Amari Cooper when we were kind of sold on this idea that, yeah, maybe they didn't need it. Maybe they weren't really interested in it. And now here we are.
No, it really was him. Like, it had nothing to do with the money. It was just him. Like, he was the real problem there.
Like, the actions speak volumes about, I mean, even from Houston's side of it. If you look at the fact that Houston, now granted, if you looked at his contract, he probably feels a little better about the short term, what he's going to make this year, and the upside of what he could make if this year turns into something big down in Houston. But when you look at the fact that they probably even have heard stuff and are thinking, yeah, we're going to put him on a 1 year deal to make sure he knows he needs to be on his best behavior. Because this is from Minnesota, now to Buffalo, now to us, and we're not going to put up with this anymore. Like, DeMeco Ryans doesn't seem like the type of guy who wants to deal with BS. And now looking back on the actions and how this all lines up, yeah, it must have, I'm not saying like Antonio Brown behind the scenes, but there had to have been a lot of things going on behind the scenes with Stefon Diggs in Buffalo.
Dang.